Welcome to MMA Dogs. My name is Hector, and as always, thank you for tuning in. A big thank you to all of our clients and all of our supporters. We got UFC Fight Night 57. So we've got Frankie Edgar taking on Cub Swanson. That is a very exciting, explosive type of fight, and two guys who are going to be in there going after it. So I can't wait for that one. Before we get started here, first thing I want to say is that much respect to all the men and women stepping into the octagon. And second thing is we go into this expecting and wanting to win as much as possible. But you always want to be careful because you don't want to bet more than you can afford to lose. And last but not least, you always want to check your local laws and government. So let's go straight to the first fight of the night. We got Juan Puig, the Mexican fighter, against Choi. Now, Puig, I am familiar with, and in his fight he had with Adriano Martins, that was just a very difficult fight, very difficult guy, Martins to debut against. And Puig is a young guy; he's only 25 years old. He looked a bit flat in that fight and heavy-footed and just didn't look very agile, didn't show any signs of quickness or any type of speed, but he is a much better fighter than that, and I'm going to chalk it up to a first-time octagon jitters. And then with Choi, we have a fighter who comes with a lot of hype, and watching his fights, man, I am not impressed at all with this guy. His most recent fight and the two most recent fights, wow, I was thinking to myself, first I was like, wait, which one, who is who and what? Because I was just very surprised at how bad Choi looked, and I just don't agree. I don't agree with this line at all. Choi right now sitting at minus 400. Minus 500 in one site, and then Puig is plus 325, plus the funky number, plus 336. So this line has him as a heavy underdog, and this is the way I see this fight going down. I don't see it being a technical fight or a fight where there is precision and accuracy. I see this going in there as a brawl. And if something's going to go into a brawl, we got a guy in Puig here who will be more than willing to stand in there and more than willing to trade. And Choi, I mean, this guy, he's just a loose cannon himself. So to get Puig at over plus 300 is unbelievable in a fight that's going to be a brawl. And I do like Puig here. I can't with this one. With Choi minus 400, I really can't explain it. I think that perhaps there is a hope that people new to betting MMA, or a lot of people who don't know much about betting on MMA, will just jump on the favorite there on the chalk and parlay it, thinking it's an easy fight. But then again, it is MMA, so you never know. I would rather be on the side sitting at plus 300, and I do like Puig here, so I am going to say Puig by second round knockout. And moving on to the next fight, we have another bit of a head scratcher here, based off of their fighting skills and what they do in the octagon, in the ring. We have Kailin Curran versus Paige VanZant. Now, with VanZant, she's got a little bit of hype behind her because she trained at Team Alpha Male for a little bit. I just don't understand. So she moved away from there. Now she's training back in Nevada and doing her own thing. So, I mean, both these girls, I would say, based off watching them fight, they're evenly matched. They're evenly skilled, but I believe Kailin Curran has the advantage. I would definitely say in the striking. And then on the ground, I think it'll be competitive despite the fact that VanZant should be better. I think Curran will show more improvements, and she's been training at Rain Training Center, and she just is focused, ready to go. I think she can beat her on the ground. I think she can. I think she'll surprise on the ground if it gets there, and then I think that her striking will be better. So I like Kailin Curran for the upset. So those are 2 dogs, 2 live dogs, and I can't wait to bet those 2. Moving on to the next fight. And then almost forgot about VanZant. She's coming off a layoff and a back injury. And this fight was supposed to be, I believe, a month ago. A little under a month ago, and it's just too soon for that. And with Curran, the Hawaiian fighter coming over here to Rain Training Center, I like Curran there. So Curran by decision, and that will be the bet also, and I'll go over that in a little bit. For the next one, Yves Thug Jitsu Master Edwards against Akbarh Arreola, El Caballero. So Arreola, he's been around for a while now. Fighting out of Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. Just very, very cool guy, very interesting guy, but he's going up against Yves Edwards, a guy who has fought the who's who, beat a lot of good guys, been there, done that, and I don't think he has fallen off as much as some people are saying, especially watching his most recent fight with Piotr Hallman, one of his fights that I was watching, and he doesn't look like he's fallen off that much to me. He still looks fast, still looks quick, and you got to know that he's coming in here. Ready to go. And one more thing I just remembered about Puig and Choi. Choi's making his debut, and then Puig knows he's got his back against the wall here. So he's got to win this fight. Training at AKA. Just a little something that I thought of right now. But Edwards, if he doesn't win this fight, he might as well retire. So that's it. That's how I feel about Edwards here. He's got to come in, show us what he's got, and it'll be enough for Arreola. Although with Akbarh, he does have a sneaky kick that he throws to the body and then comes up high with it. Kicks it to the body, comes up high. That could possibly catch Edwards. I do think Edwards is more skilled and more talented, but because he's so old now and his chin has been through a lot, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody knocks him out. I don't think it'll be Akbarh, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is. So it's a do not bet, and it's just such a close fight. Almost 50-50, slightly towards Edwards. So I'm gonna go with Edwards by decision. Do not bet. The next fight we have James Vick. Oh, and Edwards is fighting out of Texas. Fighting in Texas. He's from Texas, so another extra little boost for him. James Vick, also a Texas boy, against Nick Hein, the German. This is a very interesting fight here. Very interesting matchup because James Vick is very long, all arms, all legs, and Nick Hein is the opposite. He's all torso, all muscle. But for this one, with Hein traveling and Hein's stand up is okay, but it's not as good as Vick's. And Vick right now reminds me of a guy who is just a student of the game. He's just under Lloyd Erwin, and just soaking everything up, just learning it, applying it in the octagon, and I've been impressed with Vick. So I'm gonna go with Vick. Nearly bet him, very close to betting him, but I chose to go a different route. But James Vick for the win. I'll say could possibly finish, but I have him down for a decision. So James Vick for the decision. Do not bet. Nearly bet it, but did not bet it in the end. Luke Barnett versus Roger Narvaez. So Luke Barnett coming off a controversial loss, and Roger Narvaez is debuted against Cummings on short notice at 205. He's a 185-pound fighter, so really wasn't much for him to. Wasn't really too much. The odds weren't stacked in his favor, let's just say. And with Barnett, we have a guy who's just consistently improved. A bit hyped, of course, by his hype man, Chael Sonnen. But a student of the game. Can be a little bit goofy, with those walk-offs. He thinks he has a walk-off because he visualized it, but the guy's not really out. So a couple of those weird things. But for the most part, he's well-rounded and talented guy. With Roger, we have a guy who, much like Puig, like Arreola, guys that are coming off losses, who, if they lose one more, are probably going to be cut, unless they put on a very exciting performance, and they'll be allowed to fight one more time. But I think I do believe that Roger will come in this fight very prepared. I don't think it's going to be enough, and this is one of those dogs that's tempting, especially around plus 300, plus 290. But I just can't. I can't trust Barnett at minus 350, minus 360, minus 400 in one spot, over minus 400 in one spot. I can't trust him. That they have to parlay him with somebody or lay that type of price on him. No way. And especially since he's been in trouble in a lot of his fights. And with Roger, you got a guy who's got nothing to lose, going to come in there like a Rocky and try to win this thing. So, bet for me. I'd rather pass on that fight. I'll be watching it, and we'll see how it goes down. I am high on Barnett, but not at that price. That price is just too out of reach at this point, since I'm not that convinced that he's going to win. For the next one, Ruslan Magomedov versus Josh Copeland. Magomedov, a decision type of heavyweight, very careful. But I'm not going to put minus 200, minus 235 on a guy that's a heavyweight that's going to win decisions. With Copeland, we've got a guy coming in here, a brawler of sorts, a throwback of the Butterbean. But do not bet. No interest in betting this fight at all. The next one, Matt Wiman versus Isaac Vallie-Flagg. Matt Wiman, nearly 2 year layoff, and even then on a decline. Vallie-Flagg, a guy who's just going to give you an honest fight. He's going to stay in there. He's not the most gifted athlete, most athletic type of explosive guy. Not at all. He's just a working man's office man, post office man, just run of the mill guy, and he's going to go in there and give an honest fight with a game plan and a strategy and being all ears to his coach, Greg Jackson. And with Matt Wiman, I don't know what to make of this guy. He's coming off the layoffs and the injuries, and Vallie-Flagg, with the honest fight he gives, plus 170, plus 175 at one place. You got to say this guy's got at least a 50-50 chance here to win this fight. All the split decisions and things, and a plus 170, I like that. I like that play. So Isaac Vallie-Flagg for the decision. Maybe split, but hopefully just a unanimous or maybe inside the distance Vallie-Flagg, which would be nothing short of a miracle, but it could happen. So Isaac Vallie-Flagg. For the next one, I was a bit excited for Dustin Ortiz, but then I watched his fights and I watched Benavidez's fights, and then I remembered why Benavidez is number 2 in the world. He's only going to lose to Mighty Mouse. Everyone else he'll beat. He's not one of those fighters that takes a fight off and then all of a sudden, he got beat and then he looks different. He always looks the same. And I like that. Be very predictable. But there's some better spots, I think, here. And so I'm going to... Really, there's nobody that I feel comfortable teaming up Benavidez with other than maybe Barnett, maybe... Barnett, maybe Vic. But I'm going to go a different road here with this fight. So it's going to be a pass. Dustin Ortiz is talented. I've bet him in the past, and he is good, but I think Benavidez is going to be too much for him. Either way, do not bet, so we're staying out of that. Jared Rosholt, basically same type of category style as Magomedov. except Rosholt is a pure wrestler. Just decision, careful guy, but a wrestler. I'm not really not gonna lay 3-1, 2.5-1, and this other guy Oliynyk. They're heavyweights, so anything can happen, but I don't think he's got really a chance here. He's not gonna submit him. If Rosholt decides to take him down, which I doubt he will, but if he does, it'll probably be heavy ground and pound, and then Rosholt might get back up. So he's got the control of the fight here, so it's a do not bet. 3 more to go. Chico Camus versus Brad Pickett. Brad Pickett, one of my favorite fighters, exciting guy with a big heart. But sooner or later, he's going to lose. He's going to have to lose. It's time, and he's getting there, up there in age. And what a better time than against Chico Camus, a guy who's going to everything to gain. Brad Pickett, really, what does he have to gain from this fight? Nothing at all. And I like Camus in this spot. Overall, they're pretty well matched. Pickett probably a little bit better everywhere, but Camus, as far as striking, wrestling, grappling, everything goes. But Camus is going to be younger, fresher, better reflexes, faster, stronger guy, and that ought to be enough to push him through here. So I like Chico Camus for the decision win and for the bet also. Edson Barboza versus Bobby Green. Bobby Green is a guy that when I watch him fight, I think, nah, this isn't going to continue. He's going to lose. So I pick against him, and again, nah, it's not going to continue. He's good, but he's going to get caught one of these days by one of these guys, and he continues to do it. So I've been watching him for a while, and even when he was fighting, I think he fought an Affliction against Jay Huron. I think it might. I remember. Let me take a look now. I'm thinking about it. Pretty sure it was him. Let me see. I think Huron knocked him out. Is that him? Let's see. No, I'm thinking of somebody else. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh, so just watching him fight, and then every time he just shows up, fights everywhere on the feet, and that's where I have most of the concern with him. Is he leaves his hands down so low. He's just so confident in there. And he kind of like how when Henderson Silva got caught by Chris Weidman, that type of thing, except he hasn't got caught. And Edson Barboza, man, that guy, he looks like he could be that fighter, but he from looking at him, you think, oh man, this guy is a killer, but he's not. He's got a lot of defensive holes. He's just not. It's not the guy. I don't think he's the guy here. And he's got the good leg kicks, but his punches, his striking, just everything. If you watch his fights, he's put in a world of hurt a lot of times. And seems like a good guy, likable guy, but I don't think he's the guy here to beat Bobby Green. So I like Bobby Green for the decision. And a little bit of plus money on him never hurt. So Bobby Green for the win, for the bet by decision. And for the next fight, main event, Frankie Edgar versus Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson is a guy I've been watching for a while, waiting for him to really get a test, to really get a match. And he has it here in Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar, 33 years old, has been fighting for titles. Mostly against BJ. Most of his fights have been against BJ Penn, Gray Maynard, Ben Henderson, Jose Aldo. Very good guys. And Cub Swanson, he didn't look real good to me against Jeremy Stevens, but that was because he'd been coming off a layoff, and you could tell he's got the ring rust. But I think for this fight, he's going to be real relaxed, real fluid, real loose in there. I think it's a bit exaggerated that he's super unorthodox, because he's not. But a bit unorthodox in his style, and I think he's hungry. I think he's 31 years old, 29 years old, right around there, and it's his time right now. Just like how I feel about Bobby Green, just their time. Pretty much, they're all going to be pretty much at this top type of level. Most guys are going to be evenly matched everywhere. Edgar should have a little bit of wrestling advantage, but I don't think it'll be enough to make that much of a difference. So I think Swanson will catch him in the third round sometime and give Frankie Edgar his first knockout loss. he's been put on a street that he doesn't know the name of plenty of times, but I think this will be one of the times where the first time where he doesn't stand back up. So Swanson by knockout round 3 and at plus money, like nearly, plus 180 right now, plus 170. Let me see that line. When did that? Okay, so yeah, so it's a great price, and I really like that one. I really like that pick. I really like that fight, and I really like those odds on that one. So for the betting picks, here we go. So we've got UFC Fight Night 57 MMA DAWGS. No 5 stars, no 4 stars, but we have 6 3-star plays. Juan Puig at plus 325. Kailin Curran at plus 130. Isaac Vallie-Flagg at plus 170. Chico Camus at plus 180. Bobby Green at plus 125. And Cub Swanson at plus 170, even though I just saw him at plus 180. So yeah, those six guys there. And 5 guys and 1 girl there. And those are my live dogs. They're all live dogs. Otherwise, I wouldn't have picked them and bet them. And I'm excited for that. Now for the bets, 1 unit equals 1% of the bankroll. So the ratio remains the same. So and I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a little bit. So Juan Puig at plus 325, 1.25 units to win 4.06. Kailin Curran at plus 130, 1.25 units to win 1.63. Isaac Vallie-Flagg at plus 170, 1.25 units to win 2.13. Chico Camus at plus 180, 1.25 units to win 2.25 units. Bobby Green at plus 125, 1.25 units to win 1.56. And Cub Swanson at plus 170, 1.25 units to win 2.13 units. So lots and lots and lots of live dogs this card. And hopefully it'll be a dog night. I hope all 6 of them win. I would love that. And then Swanson wins by knockout TKO plus 150. I like that one. So that'll be 0.05 units. So 0.05 units to win 0.28 units. So getting nearly a quarter unit out of that. Juan Puig wins inside the distance at plus 478. That is 0.05 units to win 0.24 units. And so get nearly a quarter unit out of that if that goes through. So the 2 props, really exotic props. But that's it. For the rest of them, it's all straightforward, all dogs. And then a round robin of 2s. So that's 15 parlays because there's 6 fighters at 0.03 units each. So the total bet is right around half a unit, so 0.45 units to win 3.12 units. So nice bet here. Juan Puig at plus 325, Curran at plus 130, Vallie-Flagg at plus 170, Camus at plus 180, Green at plus 125, and Swanson at plus 170. Whew. So that takes care of all the numbers. Grand total, 8.05 units to win 17.40 units. So hopefully tomorrow night all 6 underdogs come through, and I'll be hooting and hollering, running straight out to the backyard like the road runner, and then screaming, yeah, woo, yeah, real excited, real happy, and then on to another successful weekend, and keeping the enthusiasm going. And I hope everybody has a great weekend and happy Thanksgiving. Spend your time with your loved ones, and I will talk to you guys real soon. Hopefully those 6 live dogs bark, and we will all be real happy. There definitely is a big possibility that happens, so I'm excited for that, and I hope you guys have a good one.